And we're live. This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. Tru Armor is in the queue tonight for a little late night action. Tru, what's going on with you?
Hey, how's it going, man? Happy 4th.
Happy 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 6th now, yeah.
You know, but was it a happy 4th for you?
Yeah, I got to go out and see a small group of people watching neighborhood fireworks go crazy.
Okay.
It was a nice change from nothing going on for the last 4 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the fireworks are going off every night.
Yeah, but they were supposed to go up for the 4th. So, instead of some giant, I guess, packs of humanity gathered together to watch it 2 and 3 feet apart, which I guess would be normal.
Okay.
You just watched it with 8 people, and you watch your neighbors do it in a cul-de-sac. It was nice.
Okay.
It almost reminded me of like this is how it must have been in the early days of July 4th, right? Before there were giant like Macy's parades and all this. Just kind of people like, oh hey, it's let's say the 10th anniversary of the country. Let's fire. Well, did they have fireworks? Yeah, they did. Let's fire off this or ring the bell or do whatever, and then have a pint at the ale house and forget about it. It seemed very much like that. Very, very small and very neighborhoody. But everybody kind of doing it, which was nice.
Okay.
And not having some conglomeration do it for the people, I guess. Okay. So yeah, it was nice. Plus, my sister made this salmon mac, kind of like, oh man, it was fantastic. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was great. It was a good 4th of July.
So the whole combo was nice. It wasn't just like
it made me feel like those old holidays that used to come about before you knew what like a job was and work was and romantic heartbreak was, where you just ran out, you saw your family and you got eats and your mom made you a plate, and it was simple and it was small and it was summer, and that's what it felt like.
Okay. I still get stuck on the fact that the entire month of June in New York, fireworks were going off every night.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And then a night like tonight, no fireworks at all. No noise. It's quiet as can be. You can hear a pin hit the floor, hit the ground.
Didn't I tell you that though? I said it gets crazy 2 weeks leading. It's always been this way. 2 weeks leading up to July 4th, and generally a week after. So all the craziness before July 4th, I totally got because there's more people at home, I guess. But yeah, like you said, there's no fireworks now. So I guess people bought all they could and burned it up early, and then had just enough for July 4th.
Okay.
And now they're back to Netflix and chilling.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you were able to enjoy it. I didn't do too much here. And it's funny because when the kids get older, there's like limited interaction. It's like, Dad, I need X, Y, or Z.
And I'll see you later.
And peace out.
Exactly.
And where's the car keys?
Right.
So it was funny this evening because my son came downstairs and was like, Dad, I got a couple of friends that are coming to the house. I said, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And it was they came to the house and he came to the back to let me know, okay, we're going to 7-Eleven. I said, all right. Yeah, I need $10. I said, yeah, this you kind of rewind 40 years.
Yeah.
So. I remember being in that position, like, hey, Pops, I need
yeah,
some.
Hit me up for $10 so we can go to the movies. Yeah, I remember those days. When you wanted to start your life, but you had no cash and you still lived at your parents' house.
Yo, you had no cash, you had nothing at all, and you were like,
no driver's license, but you were ready to go.
You were good. and today, nowadays, we wouldn't dare walk out of the house without our driver's license.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I don't know, but it's you know, different world. It was good here. It was good. Like I said, especially now that the fireworks are over.
Right. All those dogs can get some peace.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Trying to get the camera centered and I can't figure it out.
No?
Yeah, I think that'll do.
So we'll go to first topic of the night is rest in power to Broadway actor Nick Cordero. It's like a really terrible story. It's a tragedy of the coronavirus, because I heard many weeks ago, it might have been a few months ago, a couple of months ago, I heard that his leg had to be amputated.
Right.
And then from there, it's just like battling it back and forth, and you know, issues with his lungs and everything else like that. And you know, to find out that he's transitioned, he's moved on.
Yeah.
I mean, some rough stuff. It's like, because I mean, part of the first question for you tonight is, you know, you hear about these deaths, and we march towards 130,000. That number 130,000. But like our president is just out there at these events, and everyone's like, no social distancing, no masks, no this, no that. Don't give me anything about it being a controlled environment, but I mean, this person is the leader of the free world is downplaying it.
Yeah.
You don't sound convinced.
Yeah, I don't really. Look, I think that there's a march to get everybody on the same page all the time. Like there is no, like, and if you have any dissenting opinion, you are somehow other, whether that be, you know, like I used to always say about the 60s, if you disagree with the established thinking, you're either a communist or a black revolutionary or a homosexual, or they always had to label you so they can go, why would you be with those people? The idea here is that these inalienable rights means you don't have to do some stuff, right? Should it be your right to wear a mask? Yeah, it should. But if you don't wear a mask, you're kind of an idiot. I get the optics of running for president. You know, I don't like the fact that Biden isn't even trying. He's going to walk this thing in from his basement. I mean, it still have town hall meetings in big places with fewer people, right? Social distance every 20 feet, but talk to people. He's not even doing that. So, I mean, I give Trump credit for, I don't want to say keeping the way that Americans do politics alive, because that sounds filthy. American politics is just a horror show. But at least he's out there talking to people, trying to keep the rallies going.
That sounds like a cesspool.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm always wearing a mask, right? The idea of me, and I'm very political. The idea of going to a political rally to me just seems ridiculous. But at the same time, I wouldn't tell you not to go. These inalienable rights that they are always taken away from us black folks, that people are marching in the streets for now, you know, they don't just extend to us. Like these knuckleheads who don't want to wear masks, I hate to say it, but they get to not wear them, right? You get to spot who the idiot is, right? And stand clear of them. But it also goes that when you do get sick and you need your neighbor's help and kindness and goodwill and mercy, and you didn't wear a mask, why would I give that to you? You see what I'm saying? Sometimes this is why we're not all in this together. If we were all in this together, this whole not wearing a mask thing would not even be an issue, right? We've got other fish to fry, bigger fish to fry, and now we're talking about, you know, if some people are going to wear masks. Some people are attention seekers, and some people are not counterintuitive, contrarians, right? So if we all say, hey, we get, you know, 2 things for lunch on this picnic outing, and they're simple. It's either pizza or a hot dog because there's carts, and it's very simple. You're always gonna get somebody who wants something different, who's gonna cry and bitch and moan about it. Oops, sorry, excuse my language. So I get it. A nation this big, American television will always find the contrarian, telling you why Black lives don't matter and why, women shouldn't be in the workplace and why the homosexuals are X and why the Jews are Z and why the Hispanics are, XYZ. So you're always going to find these people, and American media loves to put them on TV, right? If American media did the opposite and just interviewed them and just kept it in a vault,
like American media loves to put the naysayers on TV?
No, the contrarian. So if under the guise of two sides of the story, in which they're not even doing it. American television now is more opinion. It's more Gayle King telling you something and then telling you her opinion about it. But it used to be this is one side, this is the other side. Make your own. Ideally, that's what it was. But it's always been yellow journalism. It's always been, William Hearst and like the main explosion causing getting us into conflict. So it's always been that. But back then, nobody knew it. Now you have the internet, and we all know the tricks and the nonsense. To keep falling for the tricks and the nonsense is ridiculous, right? And people are still, falling for the tricks and the nonsense. I saw some lady in a $40,000 Rolex watch destroy a mask stand, right? And she filmed it herself. It's just like, why would you do that? It's more of a call for help if it's anything. You're going to be arrested for it. You take your own evidence. Maybe there used to be this movie called the Stepford Wives, right? The original one was in the 70s. I think it was better than the later one with Nicole Kidman. But the idea was this in the height of like the feminist revolution, this movie comes along, right? I want to say it's like 1973, 1974. And this woman, she marries this guy. They move to this ideal little town. And all the women are just a little too perfect, a little too 50s. And when she tries to have like these girl-on-girl conversations with them, like as they set aside, the men are there, let's talk about us and our lives as women. They're just kind of like always like, just robotic. And so you gotta watch it. If you don't know it, I won't spoil it for you. I'm not for spoilers, but I love American films that have these really, especially science fiction. But yeah, the Stepford Wives, the original one, go watch it and you'll see what I'm saying. But yeah, man, it's you should be able to know how bad this is. This guy, how old was this guy? 41, right? 40?
Yeah.
He wasn't that old.
Yeah.
And it hit him bad, and it hit him bad early, and then it just kept getting worse for the guy until he passed away. So if and some people, it may just be a really, really, really bad flu, and that is amazing. People are passing out from lack of oxygen, right? So if you know all this stuff, why would you not wear a mask? Why would you expose the people that you love and your family and the kids you love, to it? I mean, yeah, I don't think. I mean, the government has mandated mask wearing. I really don't have a problem with it. But
even certain governors have mandated masks. The federal government hasn't done a thing.
Right, but here's my thing. If I'm not wearing a mask, are the cops going to arrest me, take me before a magistrate?
No, and
I don't think you can do that. So these are these hollow things.
In some states, you're going to get a fine. $250.
I think I could beat the fine, though. I think I could beat the fine.
Well, maybe
I don't know.
Or
I think, look, this is what inalienable means. It means you can't, but is it your inalienable right to not wear a mask? I don't know, man. Whew. This place is so ridiculous.
In your state, have they mandated masks yet?
No.
Oh, okay. So when they do mandate masks, just walk outside without a mask on.
I'm not even trying. I'm not going there. on this regard, because I don't think that it's something to play with. I think there's enough evidence that it's a horror show if you get it and survive it, right? And on top of that, even if I get it and survive it and it's not that bad, I don't want to bring it to people that I love, right? So on that alone, and they're telling me, and mind you, first they said 2 months, and then another 2 months, and another 2 months.
I think the mask is for you to protect others more than it is for you to protect yourself.
I think it's both. I mean, you know, first, trying to sell the American people on altruism is not going to help. You know, this is for you helping others. It's just, I mean, otherwise everybody will be giving to charities. It's not going to help. The way you get people to motivate themselves is to make it, to put it in terms of their own best interest. If you don't wear a mask, it's going to kill you, and you're going to die, and your kids are going to get infected. Now you're like, oh, that's mine. Well, maybe I need to fix myself and fix my life and make sure my family's safe and wear this mask. But if you go,
this is so
you know
hard?
what? Protect your neighbors. And
so hard.
Huh?
Why do you think this is so hard?
People are taught to war with each other in America. That's how politics works. You always have to have an enemy. And here, the enemy is each other.
So is that the reason why in other states I don't want to say they've controlled it, but
Mexico shut down their border. They haven't done that in 200 years.
They flattened, in other countries, they flattened it, and everyone's looking at the United States, and it's just continuing to spiral out of control.
But here's the thing. We're not those other countries. We have a lot more freedom than those people do.
Right.
You know, and a king can direct any edict actually he wants.
So if we don't have a president who thinks he's a king.
That's opinion.
We don't have a president who thinks he's a dictator, that's whatever he wants to do, who obstructs Congress.
I don't know if he's obstructing Congress. I think Congress is pretty lame and ineffectual as it is. I don't think they need much obstruction.
If they submit a subpoena to someone and the administration tells that person, don't go, don't pay it.
Yeah, but that's been done before. Clinton did it with not Linda Tripp. Who's the woman that they sent to jail? And she was in jail for like, I want to say a year. But yeah, he told her not to testify, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, and she didn't testify, and Congress found her in violation and threw her in jail. And Congress can throw you in prison as long as they're in session, and I think they're in session for like 2 years, right? So they give you a 2-year sentence just for being difficult to Congress.
No, they haven't thrown anyone in jail.
No, it was a real thing. That's why I remember happening. Going, really? They can do that? There's a jail in the Congress? And yeah, apparently there's a jail in the basement.
So,
but they didn't keep it there. They sent her off to a federal place. But yeah,
they haven't done anything. I just think what you reap is what you sow.
Yes. Karma is a mother.
If you're only willing to talk about adding 4.8 million jobs and not address the 40 million other people that have filed for unemployment insurance.
Yeah, but I mean, you want your leader to answer those questions, but at the same time, other presidents have done the same thing, skirted answers and, skirted questions and like talked about what they wanted to talk about because everything else was super embarrassing. So I see that as part of the game.
Well, I see it like this. Every president gets to deal with a catastrophe or a tragedy, but I don't think any other president that we can remember since we've been voting has dealt with this situation as poorly as it's been dealt with.
Okay, I've got issues with that because I think W was a pretty bad president. Wouldn't let people leave the military so they could continue fighting. So I think when it comes to the worst presidents, it's going to be a tight race to the bottom between those two.
Has nothing to do with worst presidents. It has to do with dealing with the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh, this one issue? Right. I think we're talking about how presidents dealt with their issues, their defining issues. And I stand by that. I think these two are going to be at the bottom. But Corona is the thing. Who knows? It's
well, we're almost at 130. Probably by the time we wake up, we'll be at 130. And we
see, man, this is a slow. It's been slowly building. It's steadily, slowly building. So it's been around for 4 months, and it went from a couple of hundred people to what, 1 million, right? It's still the year. So we're halfway through the year. So if it does that same thing with these same numbers, you're looking at 10 million people by the end of the year.
You're talking about
right?
worldwide, right?
No, I'm talking about in this country.
Well, in this country, it's only 2 million.
2 million, right? So that's but in 6 months.
I think it's less than 6.
It's not going to double. It hasn't been doubling. It's been. I don't know, man. All right, so I don't know. This is. I've got a lot of stuff that I read about it sort of sloshing around in my head. I don't want to be.
No, I just think I'm just wondering what number do we have to obtain
before you think something happens?
Well, no, before the GOP says something really like this is.
No, I think they're trying to wait this thing out to November to see where the chips fall. Because remember, they didn't want Trump as president, and then they had to get on board with it. So I think they don't want to stand against him because they know that the price would be paid. But if they can get rid of him while somebody have someone else do it, yeah. But they can't also go, we're all going to vote Democrat because they cut their own throat. So the Republicans are be in a rock and a hard place and a racist mob right now.
Yeah.
I think they want him to lose, but you know,
hey, we beat this topic.
Biden is not a lock, so they got to watch their step. And if they play their cards right in the way they see it, and he wins again, you know, they didn't offend him. And then they just wait him off for 4 years. Mitch McConnell has been there forever. And presidents come and go.
Hey,
right?
This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. We're talking with Tru Armor. Ways to follow the show at latenightparents.com, where you find the latest blogs, wikis, Twitter feeds, YouTube streams, Facebook handles, all the above. We'll go to our next topic. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should say is Ghislaine Maxwell going to put everyone on blast, or if Ghislaine Maxwell gets the opportunity to put everyone on blast.
Yeah.
Will she even get the opportunity?
Yeah, I think she's going to get the opportunity. I think
if they put her in the same Bureau of Prisons as Epstein, you think she'll get the opportunity?
Yeah, I think
okay.
No one's dying twice. I mean, you can only pull that rabbit out of that hat once, right? Okay. People are not going to be impressed by that twice. So I think I'll cooperate with you still means that all those famous people won't be implicated, because now, listen, you can be found dead in your cell from a strangulation.
So you said they won't be
or you can just use these small fish that we're happy to let, and let all these other people who mucked with it go. Because they have her book.
You said they won't be implicated?
Yeah. So if I'm the people who ushered, listen, if I'm the people who ushered Epstein into the next life, I know I can't do that twice, because it looks like, you know what I'm saying? It looks bad that.
Okay.
So now you tell her, oh man, so what happened to Epstein? So what you're going to tell people is that you're going to cooperate. Just when they go, hey, what about Bill Clinton? You go, oh, no, don't know anything about Bill Clinton. What about Prince Philip? I know nothing about Prince. Oh, see, she's cooperating, and she's telling you these famous, rich, powerful people didn't do anything, and then they'll give you some low-level business people who are rich but aren't powerful. Oh, well, this executive of Coca-Cola or this so-and-so of Pepsi, yeah, those guys, and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But when people go, what about those other guys who are, she said, not them. And then she'll end up having a stroke in 2 years, and that'll be natural. But she will have exonerated all the people you know who are dirty as freaking mud with her own words and how you that look, man. This whole I have watched enough documentaries about this country and enough paranoid movies about this country to come up with my own really interesting scenarios that often prove true. So yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised that she was in Connecticut. Was she Connecticut or Maine? Massachusetts? She was in Yankee country, like old 1776, like Maine. It wasn't Rhode Island. But yeah, I was surprised she was even in the country. I thought she was in her native England or some shit as Europe, but yeah, that's amazing. Maybe they realized she was trying to slip into Canada, but they said they were watching her for a while. And the way they do, they let you do whatever you want, but as soon as you go anywhere near an airport, they're on you.
I thought
Instantly
she was
arrested.
New Hampshire or something like that.
Yeah, New Hampshire, right? New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island. I knew it was somewhere up there. But yeah, I think the name she spills will be innocuous and ineffectual to the. I mean, to think about. Remember, like 5 years ago, they arrested that guy who went to that pizza place talking about Hillary Clinton was running a child sex thing out of the basement, and I was like, "Man, what is wrong with people?" And now,
I was at a dinner.
The core of that story was a group of elite people, a group of elite pedophiles. Now here you have on the verge of a story about this elite pedophile, and you have Amy Robach over at ABC talking about how she wanted this story 3 years ago and they killed it. So yeah, I don't think people are going to be talking about this story. She's going to mention some bullshit. She's going to mention some innocuous names, and those people are going to be arrested and go to jail. But it won't be any senators, it won't be any princes, it won't be any presidents, yeah, she'll talk because she's not trying to do 1,000 years in a cell.
I was at a dinner in East Northport. Nice area, really nice area. I was out there.
I know Northport, swanky.
Yeah, was out there with this really two other entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was on their boat, okay, and then we went and we had dinner, and the two gentlemen that I was sitting there with had an argument about politics. Had an argument about Clinton and the pizzeria and child pornography, and it just got so heated, and I was just sitting there. Was like, "Are you guys done?" Totally destroyed our
good day. Vibe.
It was an excellent day. We were drinking wine, all of this other stuff, and then the food came, and then I don't even know how to. It just shows you how the rancid level of politics just destroyed us all.
It's not about ideas anymore. It's about cultures and cults of personalities and
I mean, and the thing is, the discussion got so heated.
Yeah.
It got really heated to the point where I'm sitting there like, all right, I'm ready to leave.
Right.
It was one of those situations where you just like, what in the world is going on? Because we were talking about a product and I was all in, and it was about a streaming product to be precise. And like I said, the food and the wine and this, and I don't even know how that discussion came up with Hillary Clinton and that and all this other stuff.
Hillary Clinton is polarizing. She has been polarizing for 30 years.
Yeah. But one party was so seriously intent that story was true.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how are you putting all your...
And the people, the elites in the Republican Party wouldn't knock it down.
Right.
They just wanted her tarnished. So they, I wouldn't say, some of them pushed it, but, the respectables wouldn't knock it down. And now here you are. Did you see that march with the the NFAC or something, the not effing around militia.
I read about it.
This is where you're coming to.
This,
Everybody's walking around with guns threatening each other. This is not about political opinion.
To some white nationalists.
Yeah. But you know what? This wouldn't be the first time the Klan shot it out with like people in the street. There's a very famous video of them doing it in like 1972. Yeah. Killing a whole bunch of activists. Just moron stuff. Has nothing to do with your politics. Has everything to do with hate. So yeah, you're gonna turn this place into Fallujah with all these games. And you know, people keep acting like nobody's got military service but rednecks. That's ridiculous. Right? So yeah, they said there was 1,000 people. That's a lot of people. So 1,000 people. So, you know.
Have you noticed lately? Have you noticed lately?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
People are still marching, but it's not being reported on anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, look, you can't.
It ran its cycle? Or
yeah, well, do I want to say it's running cycle? Look, you can't keep watching the same thing on TV every night and be like, you eventually have to move on to other stuff, right?
Well, mainstream media just moved back to coronavirus.
Yeah, yeah.
So we,
I mean, it was a month.
We went from, and you know what I think the problem is? The problem is these are peaceful protests. These are not protests. You know, establishments being burnt down.
Right. Look, a few months ago when there was the fires in Australia and in California, that was on the news all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just stopped reporting about it. They didn't tell you it stopped. They didn't tell you it dwindled. They just picked up. It's not like the firemen didn't have to stop fighting those fires. They just, all the camera crews picked up because there was a news story someplace else. And that could have been coronavirus. Because coronavirus was going on before Ahmaud Arbery. But Ahmaud Arbery around March just made the year, you know, just, was it March? Yeah, it was March. And then we found out about it April, May. We found out in May, right? So, yeah. So that, and then Breonna Taylor, and, you know, just, I think the whole place was right for all these people to be home and all these people who have grievances to be out in the street. Mind you, all those people out there are not Black Lives Matter people. Some of those people are there for their trans rights, and like people who are setting stuff on fire are these white kids. So your movement can be corrupted if you don't keep an eye on it. And there's I see a lot of that going on now too. So now they're only talking about it when the cops are breaking up stuff, or, you know, shoot somebody, run somebody down. Somebody got ran down 2 days ago, a young woman.
I saw that.
Yeah, just nonsense stuff. And then you get into the comments, and people are like, that's what you get for walking on the highway. And people are like, you know, there's evidence as to what happened. The highway was closed, so now you're not even paying attention to the story. You just want to get up there and say mean things about the death of a young woman, right? These are the sons you're raising? The daughters you're raising?
Everyone has become a soundbite. Everyone is like, I'm not going to listen to you. That's just like the two of us having a conversation, and we're both yelling at each other with our own topics.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. And it ends in violence all the time.
And we see
a march in this small town where more bikers and right-wing people showed up and just attacked the small piece of march. So what are you telling me in your small town? Right? You want to use the flag as an excuse for everything. So I mean, it's hate, and it hasn't been dealt with, and now it's about to spill all off the kitchen counter and onto the floor and set the house on fire.
Hasn't been dealt with.
Hashtag fix it. Just fix it.
I go back to my motto of vote them all out.
Yeah.
Clear the slate.
Yeah. And you should not be in government for more than 20 years. I'm sick of Cuomo. I'm sick of Fauci. The only one I like, quite frankly, is Trump. You know why? He's never been a politician. He may be bad at it, but I like the fact that someone who never run can run and win. I wish it wasn't a billionaire. I mean, you want an average guy to garner the power of the people and have them do that, right?
Too much
the idea that you've been sitting in Congress for 40 years, getting it wrong, and getting it wrong and being president and keeping it moving bothers me. It's why nothing ever changes.
Too much vitriol
really
for Trump. Too much.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking. I'm not bigging up. All right, let's be clear. Hear it out. I'm not bigging up Trump at this thing. I'm talking about the idea that this can happen is why you can't change it. Someone will use this and go, well, see, this is why you should have 30 years political experience, and you can't. It's with all due respect, to heck with that guy. All these career politicians who have no great legislative background just have been there forever are the problem. All these sons of politicians, are the problem.
And what are we seeing? What are we seeing now? We're seeing the moderate.
What the people want? The people want term limits, and that's never on topic for these people.
Primary them and get them out.
Yeah, but you need money and organization. Whose money are you going to use? Corporate money? You're instantly corrupted once you take corporate money.
You can't
right? Money. And the thing about us people on the bottom, us poor people, once you ascend to that level of mucking around, it takes a lot of integrity not to be bought off. This is why everybody's looking at the consultatory like, look at you, playing the game. All right. Because you want to win it. Okay, will she be bought off? She was a rebel going in. Look, John McCain was supposed to be a rebel. He was never a rebel, by the way. A maverick, they called him. But, people fall into these, I don't want to say caricatures, but fall into these roles, and then they become caricatures in those roles. Another great movie for this podcast, go watch The Man Who Killed Liberty Valance and see what the truth is. The Man Who Killed Liberty Valance is just one of the best movies about how a tale becomes the fact. So I won't ruin that either for you. It's another great 50s classic.
Things that I'm streaming right now are what is it? I saw last night, The Outpost.
The Outpost. Is that with Guy Pearce?
I believe so.
It's not set in like the 1800s where he's a deserter?
No.
Okay.
This is Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
This is Afghanistan. It might be under the same name.
Right. I'm thinking about something totally different. It's a Civil War piece with Guy Pearce.
Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah.
Jake Tapper from CNN.
Right. I thought you said Jake Tapper was in it. I was about to be like, what?
No, based off of his book. Excellent movie. And last night I
wrote a book.
It's really, really good. And I was gonna watch, but I didn't get a chance to watch Hamilton.
Yeah.
I want to see, because of course I never got to see.
Is it still on? Should I watch it, or is it too late?
No, it's on. It's on.
I'm not. Everyone. I can be a contrarian, like we do. I'm not a fan of Hamilton. I love American history. I love that portion of American history with the founders and.
I want to see it, so I'm gonna.
The idea of Hamilton is like. In an environment where you're talking about lifting cultural music, you can make that argument with Hamilton really well.
So I can't speak to it. I'm gonna watch it, and then maybe we could talk about it later on.
Hip hop music. Yeah. There's no merengue in it. It's not. It's black music.
So I know
in this awoke environment,
I got to carve out like 2 hours and 40 minutes of.
Man, that's what I did like about plays when I lived in New York, and I occasionally got to go to a play that they were like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And you sit there, you can you see how they put the whole thing on.
Yeah. So, got to carve that time out. There was some show.
Maybe now that drive-ins are coming back, maybe more
drive-ins
neighborhood theaters will come back.
We released an article today on Late Night Parents on when you can expect your favorite movie theater chain to come back. basically all of them are coming back in
Those people are crazy.
probably like late July, early August.
Here's the thing. When I go to the movies, I'll always go at noon when there's no one there. I get to pick my seat. I get to get the popcorn. I get to pay half price for a ticket. Especially down here, there's like $5 Tuesdays. So, I'll go watch a movie or two on a Tuesday.
Go to the matinee every morning.
And there'll be like me and 8 other people in the place, and that's fine. I also don't mind watching it after the rush is over, so I'll see it on week 3. Fine. But like when I was a young man, I had to see it opening night. We'd be at the midnight show. We get some brews, bring in a flask. Woo! The whole place would be an event. I don't see. I mean, that was the magic of movies back in the day, right? I don't see that happening. Every now and then, a movie was a happening. You had to see it. Like everyone saw The Wiz. Everyone saw the first Aliens. Was just like, you have to see this movie.
Everyone saw the first Star Wars.
Everyone saw Star Wars, right?
I saw Star Wars in Westbury with my family in the drive-in.
Yeah.
At the
I saw E.T. in the Green Acres drive-in with my family. Right. So it's all these. Well, no, it wasn't E.T. It was No, it wasn't E.T. It was
Star Trek.
It was a double feature. It was The Hills Have Eyes, and oh my God, this is what happens when you get older. But yeah, I'd be like, drive-ins are coming back.
That's great.
Maybe there's some salvaging America if we can rescue some of these good things.
And it's like, so they're doing this across America. So I can only speak to Nassau Coliseum.
Right.
So what they're doing is per car, $30, and they're offering walk-up service. So you get.
All right. So how much is a movie ticket? I think a movie ticket for one guy.
It depends.
It's like $10, right?
No.
One guy. How much is a movie ticket for one person?
Matinee is like $6-7.
But that's a matinee. After that.
But understand this much: if it's a Disney movie, chances are there is no matinee price.
Right.
Okay.
Movie ticket price.
So then, and in the evening, you're paying $15, $16, $13.
I guess you're right. I guess that's more of it. $13 for one ticket. So that should get you at least 3 people in your movie. Okay. So if it's you and a date, it's still heavy. It's $15.
Yeah.
But if it's you and a family, you, your wife, and your kids at the top, $30 a car is the jam.
Yeah.
But here's the thing no one tells you about driving movies. If you're in the back, it's hard to see the screen. You know what I mean? Because you got a roof over your head and you got 2 people in front of you. So, I mean, I'm nostalgia driven. I love a driving movie just because.
I was out at a drive-in. So my daughter had virtual graduation. So we drove. I think we were out in
the new normal.
I think we were out in Plainview. So it was kind of like, we saw they gave us the time to be there. Our slot was number 61. So we were like the second row was pretty good. I kind of got the look and feel of it because they said, turn to 92.5.
Right.
And then boom.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you're locked in.
Right. Now they do it with an app.
Yeah.
Download the app and
So
everybody can play it on their phone.
Yeah. So I like the idea, but I think
I love it.
As for our movies, how we're seeing them now being released digitally and giving you the ability to go to the movies.
Yeah.
I think that's the future right there.
Yeah, but that sucks. You know why? Because movies are movies and TV is TV. I love my Netflix, but at the end of the day, Harley Davidsons are Harley Davidsons and Vespas are Vespas. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can watch a great movie at my house and it's the same, but it's not. I mean, the sound is different. The giant visual experience is different. Just the idea of getting up, going out, buying a ticket, and going to a place it's different. I don't want to see, and I got all kind of issues with Hollywood, California, and their 30-mile zone of ridiculousness. But it shouldn't die. All these great things that make America this interesting place is being washed out to make it this European burg, this mall, so like this golf club, and
no, I just think
I gotta watch it.
Exclusively, if there was this product that I was looking at, this was
here.
It was a product I was looking at where it gave you the ability, if you wanted to view it at home. This was maybe more than 2 years ago. We were looking at stuff like this, but now seeing how it is, like, believe it or not, maybe 2 or 3 days prior. I told you the story before. 2 or 3 days prior to everything, the shutdown in place in New York, we went as a family to go see The Invisible Man, and we went to go out to dinner. And it was so funny because I remember saying to them, we're not going to be able to do this for a while. Only to turn around and come home later that week and turn on, I think it was Amazon, or turned on, I don't know if it was Amazon or Netflix, and The Invisible Man was available to rent.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, wait a minute. We just saw this in a movie theater. And I'm like, oh, they actually kicked it well into gear.
Yeah, because people realize they're losing money. Like I watch, I watch more on YouTube than I do broadcast television. And one of the channels that I follow have a group of like these people who play video games. They'll have these interesting personalities, it's interesting exchanges. And when this whole thing came down that they couldn't be in the studio together doing these things, everybody became podcasts and streaming, and how they had to keep their lights on, meaning you still have to continue making products for people. If you're a baker and you bake bread and all of a sudden you can't bake bread, are you going to shut down your bakery, or are you going to come up with something else to make? You know what I mean?
Of course.
So they sort of flipped the business. And it's sort of been really interesting watching how they do it, how they, just kind of, everybody broadcast from home.
You got to be able to
still new stuff. They're still interacting. It's amazing. Yeah, you gotta adapt, and
if you don't, you're left behind.
Yeah, you're a relic. You're absolutely right.
Well,
so watching all that, I've sort of learned a quick lesson about, like, I guess business in general, just through new media. But yeah,
it's. I just saw an interview with the founder of 11.
Feel for an ice cube right now.
Oh, okay. I just saw an interview with the founder of 11 Sports. 11 Sports is a channel. It's a global sports channel. So it's in Italy, it's in the UK. Who carries it? Verizon carries it out here. I think they're working on getting on Comcast. But the founder said something that I thought was pretty slick. And it kind of goes into some of the stuff that what they're trying to do with the NBA. A lot of people don't want to buy the full season package of,
it's like the old cable thing. Nobody wanted all the cable.
Right.
Right.
So, but like with live sports, maybe I don't want to see all 256 games, but I want to see
the big bangers, right? The rivalries.
I just want to see, if I'm in New York, but my team is LA, I just want to see the LA Rams games.
Yeah. I'm in Virginia. I would love to see New York games.
Right.
I feel you.
Or get even granular. I just want to see the LA Rams games when they play other teams, the other 3 teams in their division.
Oh, really? You can get it down to that.
Right. And that's what he was talking about, micro purchasing.
Micro targeting? Oh, okay.
Through, and use whatever account that you use online, whether it's your Instagram account or your Twitter account, some account that you tie some type of debit card or payment gateway to.
Right.
But it's true. It's kind of like what we were just talking about, where, okay, I want to see, I don't have a problem. But like, there's some movies that you need to go see in a movie theater.
Right.
That require that Dolby sound, that total
that experience,
sound and the full VFX on it and everything else like that.
Right.
Like, I would say any Star Wars movie, you need that full-fledged. I mean,
blockbuster goodness.
Yeah,
you don't need to see The Notebook in a movie theater, right?
Right. You could have a 65-inch screen, but it still won't do you justice.
Right. Exactly.
But it's just a different way, and it's just like you got to get with it. So that's why I say, if you look on your Amazon or you look on whatever your cable provider is, the first run movies are available for $19.99 for 24 hours only.
Right.
So you got 24 hours to view it.
Right.
Or the other package is.
But let me remind you,
buy the movie.
What we're talking about here largely is nostalgia. How we grew up going to the movies. Yeah. These kids, once you sever it, they don't know that history. So they only ever grow up watching stuff on television, on screens, in their homes. Yeah. So they don't know these spectacles, right? So yeah, they can watch what's the next big thing they're talking about coming out in this year. What's that movie that I was interested in?
Tenet?
About an NPC character with Ryan Reynolds. Free Guy, right? So it's essentially like if you play video games, and you know what GTA 5 is, and what an NPC is, and a character and all that stuff. But it was supposed to come out, I think, yesterday, 2 days ago, June 2nd. And I was like, ooh, that's right up my alley. Kind of goofy nonsense. I'll go see that at like noon and, burn an hour. And they pushed it back to like, I wanted to say November, December, around the Christmas period.
Yeah.
Which is a summer movie. It shouldn't be in the Christmas period. But the idea of it is, well, this pandemic will be gone and people will come out to the movie theaters and see this big action-packed blockbuster. So you believe sound, Gizmo, Wismo, big actor, beautiful actress,
You're co-signing with the president that it's just going to wither away.
I think I've been on your show a couple of times saying the same thing. When they were saying this should be over by the summer in February, I was telling you it's going to last 3 years. And every few months they go, we're going to lengthen the thing of two more, not 2 more months, like another month. Another month. They won't tell you, this is going to be around for 3 years because you would lose your shit. I'm sorry. You would lose your mind.
Don't worry.
It's the idea of.
We're beyond the point trying to get it to community radio. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. But it's the whole idea of a spoonful of sugar, makes the medicine go down kind of thing. At this point, they're just feeding you a bag of sugar, and like the medicine is insignificant to what they're doing. It's oh man. I mean, the people in charge really. Who looks after the people in charge?
No one.
Yeah, that's a problem.
They go unchecked, and then you have this.
But we're supposed in America. We're supposed to check them, and we don't.
You have this mess on your hands that you have now. This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show: latenightparents.com. We'll go real quickly to these final two topics. I don't know if it was a Twitter feed or an Instagram feed. Kanye West was commenting. Kanye West, definitely marketing genius, guru. I told you in pre-pro,
a kid from the bottom. We should be proud of him for being a marketing genius that you just gave him credit for being.
He is a marketing genius. He's also a narcissist also. But I think in whatever he does,
man's a genius.
He exceeds your expectation.
Yeah, he does.
Me personally, I enjoy the Jesus is King album.
Yeah, I burned that College Dropout album for like 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
almost on a daily. Yeah, it's yeah.
So you got Elon Musk and a few other people tweeting at Kanye talking about they have his back. I think this is another marketing ploy. There's
But what?
no
He
way.
just dropped an album already.
No, he just dropped a single.
And let's be clear, Kanye West needs no marketing ploy. He's not a gimmick. He's for real. His music is solid and has been bumping for like 20 years now. The dude is not a joke. So marketing ploys are what, like, you know, some of the lesser Kardashians need. But Kanye West is about it. He's for real. And like you pointed out to me, he's been playing religious music for 15 years now, right? Jesus walked with a million years ago.
15, 16 years.
And they've been trying to cancel him forever, right? And I think Kanye West is a genius. I always stand up for Kanye West. He doesn't do a lot of music about selling drugs or moving guns or hating women, right? He does hip hop sort of soul music, whereas everyone else does hip hop gangster music. So yeah, I'm a fan of Kanye. Whenever people come for Kanye, I'm like, you're not gonna cancel all these guys talking about strippers and hating women and, you know, passing women around to their friends. You're gonna let those guys run as they talk about moving drugs all over the place. But your issue is Kanye, who's telling you that he wants to be a Republican, maybe wear the Confederate flag and make music. Kanye West is as weird as he is. He's not the problem in the community.
What about the baseball cap that makes him feel like Superman?
Kanye,
you there, co-sign it. You there.
Hey, yo, I said before, Kanye West is a genius, and I don't understand all the things geniuses do. Right. Some of that, I'm not co-signing everything he does. I'm just kind of like, what? But the idea that his opinion garners so much virulent, like, animus is just sort of crazy to me. While in the rap game, there's so many other people who are doing and saying worse, just the most detrimental thing to the community that you could have go on, and they're heralded as like these great people, right? So, I mean, look, we in Black people we in the Black culture, we know the music and the vibe and because we create it, right? So, and it's created for us. Other people may like it, but it's created for us. So we get the shades and the gradients of what's going on in the music, and I think a lot of that is missed on other people. And since it's all run by, let's be honest, people who are not Black people, or these white executives who own these giant labels who push cultural music, whatever the culture are in. I'm sure the salsa community isn't so much owned by like Mexicans in America, right? So like all the music that we create, they sort of dictate what's popular. So if what's popular is gang banging music, which has been popular now since like NWA, what do you want to say, 25 years? Every now and then you get people like, you know, what's that young man? It'll come to me, but you get Kanye West and you get people like Travis Scott. So you get people like Travis Scott who make this really good hip hop urban soul music, I would call it, versus their contemporaries who are the same age who make rap music, but their rap music is contemporary and it's urban. I wouldn't so much call it hip hop as much as I would call it rap music about violence and nonsense, right? So my hip hop, I have a hip hop gradient. I'll share it with you. So if you're Black and you're connected to the culture and you make hip hop music, you like the music, the clothes, the people, but it's not violent and dark, right? If you make rap music, then you're NWA. You can make, you know, twerking, gunplay, giant cars, mention labels all you want. You're making rap music. It's a difference between like dancehall music and reggae music in the Caribbean, right? In Jamaica. People who are not intimate with it may go, oh, that's all just you're making reggae music. You're like, no, some of that is spiritual stuff, and some of that is dancehall, shake your booty in the club stuff, and get a girl. You got to know the gradients, even though it's all being played intermixed on quote unquote white radio, quote unquote. It's this. So this is why when people start talking about stuff in context like these flags,
is that white radio versus black radio?
Well, I think there aren't very many black radio stations, but I think cultural radio stations, like Spanish radio stations, they come with it. The people who listen to that come into it with a sense of what the music is.
But there's an urban station in every city you go to.
No, I say ethnic. Okay. Urban means the city you're in. That could be everybody. Everybody likes rap. But ethnic stations meaning, oh, we cater to urban rap music, right? Or we cater to you know who has a lot of music stations like this? Asian people. They pump in like Asian kind of like I don't want to be disrespectful, but like high pitched, like sing-songy, you know, so because we don't make a lot of it here. So they get it from overseas and they play it on radio stations for people to go, oh, I grew up with this when I was in China or when I was in, not Japan. Japan is very Western now. But you get, you know, music that those of us who don't listen to it don't get. It's like, you know, sharing your culture with other cultures. You're not going to, unless you're a PhD who studied everything about it, you're not going to get some of this stuff. And that's why I tell people, some of this rap music is rap music, and some of this rap music is hip hop music, it's culture music. I love everyday people, it's cultural music, right? So it's that versus, you know, 50 Cent selling you rap music about guns and drugs and the clubs.
I need you to answer. Is he going to run for president?
Kanye? I can't wait to get my Kanye 2020 shirt on. You know, I don't think he's popular in music. I don't think he has that big a following. And I think people love to disrespect the name of Kanye West. They like to show him up as, oh, look at this idiot, right? Like they want to hold him up for ridicule. When I don't necessarily know if that's warranted. But if he gets the right people around him, look, Ronald Reagan became president and he was an actor. And back then people were like, Ronald Reagan, president, not president, governor, what are you kidding me? And then he became governor. He did a really good job, right? So
yeah,
as far as what they say, his criminal justice thing is trash.
He didn't do it within 120 days of the election.
No. I'm just telling you how, like, I'm like, look, listen. We live in a trunk with my cans. We live in a truncated society, right? So the thing that took you 50 years to do 50 years ago, now in this internet age, information age, takes you 1/5 of the time. So one of these is Barack Obama. Barack Obama went from losing elections to being president of the United States for 2 terms in like 15 years. That's not a lot of time. Joe Biden's been at politics for 50. His days are over. He may be the last of his era, and good riddance. And I hope he doesn't win. But then again, I really can't stand another 4 years of Trump either. So is there any way that we can get no Biden and no Trump going? Can we get that happening? But yeah, I think his days are done. And now you have this age of.
So wait, I just in case if I missed it, is Kanye gonna run or not?
Yeah, am I not answering that question? I'm trying to give you background. Okay, so is Kanye gonna run? I think if he does run, it's not the most ridiculous political thing I've ever heard. And if he does run, he's got money to put good people who know politics behind him to make it serious. Like people laugh at the Space Force. I'm like, you know, the American government started a military agency to go into space just because you don't like Donald Trump, who will be gone in 4 years or, you know, in November of 4 years. that agency is going to be around and it's going to do great things. So you should be for the Space Force, no matter how it's birthed into this world, right? You understand that logic? So I think the same thing is very similar with this idea of Kanye West running. If it catches fire and people connect him to his music and soulfulness and happiness and loving to see his, I mean, look at his wife. I mean, she's essentially, not that she had anything to rehabilitate, but sort of reset how the world looks at her, right? She went from being just somebody's girlfriend to somebody with a sex tape, to somebody who started a business, to somebody who started a really super ridiculous successful business that people then began to criticize for not having some sort of traditional background in business, even though she was making money. And she sort of engineered and pioneered a new genre of how to make money on the internet. She kind of single-handedly. And now she's going into law, and she's got, by my last count, I want to say 2 people out. It might be more than that, but 2 wrongfully convicted people out, and other people aren't doing anything in Hollywood other than sitting around pools. LeBron James has used Black Lives Matter to raise $100 million to start something for himself, a media company, right? One kid sang a song and got a record deal from Black Lives Matter. So people are playing the same squishy game that they always play. And for what they say about her, she seems to be, and he seems, to be in the same household. If she's this way and focusing real and trying to move, toward an elevation, why would he not be? Even though he gets the same bad press and all this stuff. And like I said, it can turn. For all 90 days might be the 2020 biz. I mean, pandemics and global, everyone stay at home and wear a mask, or this is a very strange year. People are running for president without leaving their house. Other people are having massive rallies when you shouldn't, and threatening the people who show up. So yeah, I don't know who. I mean,
hey, my last question is on Joey Chestnut. This is for Kicks and
American hero biz.
Did he really eat 75 hot dogs?
Yeah.
And
he's going to win the Congressional Medal of Honor.
The answer is yes. But the funny part about this whole topic is the amount of people that I guess that are so grossed out about competitive eating and the fact that ESPN airs it and all of this other stuff, and people just come across so self-righteous.
Yeah.
It's beyond sickening.
Everybody's a Karen. Why you eat those hot dogs so fast? Why is this on my TV? Right? It's not live and let live. It's how dare you do whatever you're doing. I want to speak to your manager. And it's always been that. They got Emmett Till killed, right? And countless people before that. So, I mean.
So my question to you.
It's disgusting. I don't watch it.
Do you? That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yo, dude, I watched this. I remember watching it a million years, and he was still there. He's been doing this for a while. And the guy would soak no. I was like, at the first I thought it was eat a hot dog, but no, you gotta have a hot dog with bread on it. So some people eat the hot dog, and then some people eat the bread by themselves. And other people are dipping the hot dog and the bread in the water.
Stop. I don't want to hear
if this
that.
was real and wasn't for ridiculousness,
stop.
Eat a hot dog with sauerkraut and ketchup on it. How many of those can you eat? Oh, he ate 10. She ate 10.
Stop.
But don't dip it in stuff. It's just cheating. It just seems to be the worst case of cheating. The worst case of cheating.
It's just you explaining that.
Ugh, it's just vile. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah, those competitive eating things are just disgusting. They really are.
I don't know.
And don't get me, not all of them though. I've seen a guy eat like a big steak, but you're not dipping that in anything and shoving it in your face. You gotta sit there and go, you gotta chew it, masticate, chop it out, go up, and it's like wow. Versus all this, and something tells me you didn't have a camera on them for the next day and a half to see how they handle the process of it. Because sometimes they walk behind bars and like just vomit. Nah, you own this 75 hot dogs, champ. You got the giant check. You got to digest this like the rest of us.
Oh my goodness!
Why do they do that? I mean, Coney Island is a great place. They don't need to keep doing that.
Wait, you have a Twitch account, correct?
No, I will have by the end of the week, though.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, the Twitchification of the world. Do they have watch parties for stuff like that?
Yes, but so does YouTube. I watched. What was that show for kids? Goosebumps, because there was a watch party, and I was like, "What is a goosebump?" And because all the people who were talking about it were like in their 30s, their early 30s, and they grew up with it. And I was like, "Oh, this is how you get old," because they have a whole different reference of pop culture history. And now I'm just peeking into
sports. That's the future of live sports. I mean, I don't want to call competitive eating. I don't want to clump that in with live sports.
It's not a sport.
But I'm saying watch parties for events like that, for special events.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I can sit here, I can watch on my phone through whatever app.
And even after this pandemic, it's going to still be
connected with an audience of 1 million other subscribers. I mean, look at the whole Versus. You know, your favorite artist.
Right.
Going back and forth.
Right.
I think, that's basically that's the norm now.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's the norm.
It's hard to put the smoke back in that cigar.
Say it again?
It's just hard to put the smoke back in that cigar. I think that even after this pandemic thing passes, people are going to be happy to like have a little more interactions from home, you know, more meetings from home.
But what is that
with their friends, watch parties from home?
What does that mean for face-to-face interaction?
Nothing. We're animals. I mean, it's face-to-face interaction is what we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, it just look. The nuances of being human cannot all be conveyed through digital imagery, right? I mean, there's the way people breathe and breath palpitations and flicks of like hair and like interplays of smile and like, you know, people bump legs together, all these kind of small things that make women like men and men like women. When you're with your homies or you know, it's the same kind of energy of like, I don't know, man. I just think that the human interactions will not be, I mean, I think you can dull them. I don't think you can get rid of them. And I think not everybody is always on a string. So I don't think it shows any sign of going anywhere. This is why I'm not a big fan of like a lot of these weird apps for people. I just think that they dodge the question as to what is going on with individuals in their lives. You know what I mean? You should have to go out and talk to other humans,
right?
Versus like just digital imagery. There's something safe.
I totally agree.
It's just like commenting online without having a picture or your actual name.
You got some
nonsense. Yeah.
You're an egg.
Yeah.
Come on. Knock it off.
Exactly.
Dude, it was a great session.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Best ways to get in contact with you?
Follow me on Twitter, Tru Armor, and follow me on YouTube, Tru Armor.
So you got it to the point where it's totally the same now?
No, I'm so slowly getting all my Twitter life together. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you got some great short videos up there. You got a couple of long form videos up there, so it's definitely a good follow. Follow Tru_Armor on Twitter, and we are out.
Peace.